Hello, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful week through the Enchanted spreads. The Enchanted spreads are meant to hit in on the harsher points in life so that we can find guidance and clarity through them. But we make them more relatable by telling us fairy tales and folklore. Okay? So now that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive into this week's uh, fairy tale. And this week we have the story of water and salt. This one is one of my absolute favorite stories because this one's all about truth and honesty and how sometimes we don't recognize that we can be rewarded for our truth and our honesty and where it can actually get us, though at times it can be painful and hard at first, to be honest. So with water and salt, this story is about a king who had three beautiful daughters. And he asked his daughters, as an egotistical king he is, "How much do you love me?" And his first daughter said, "I love you as much as my eyes." His second daughter said, "I love you as much as my heart." And his third daughter said, "I love you as much as water and salt." Well, the king was enraged by his third daughter's answer, as this was not as much as the eyes or the heart. He wanted her to love him beyond the moon and the stars, and all she had was water and salt for him, so he was insulted. And his ego got the best of him, and he asked for the executioner to kill his daughter and to bring her heart to him. The sisters chased after and begged him, not that it was hard to do, to not kill their sister. And instead they hid her away and convinced them to kill a dog and take the dog's heart back to their father. And so he did. And the king hid his grief with his pride, because he didn't want to admit that he was actually hurt that his daughter was killed. He didn't want to admit that he was wrong and he acted irrationally or impulsively, much like people around us do, right? Instead, he wanted to pretend that he was okay and it didn't bother him at all. So he rewarded his other two daughters and bought them gifts and things of that nature. And his third daughter, who was hidden in a cave, would sneak out and go get berries and fruit and collect them along her way. But she too felt a little bit of sadness as she was cast out by her father. She went along for years and years and continued to tend to herself. And one day, as she was out stumbling for berries, as she normally does, she bumped into a magician who fell for her instantly and took her off to a kingdom to meet his king, the guy he worshipped and praised. And there, this king fell in love with her and married her. Now, of course, this is many, many years down the line. And she had no idea how her father had been doing, but they invited all the great kingdoms to their kingdom, and her father was amongst them. Everyone was dining and eating and feasting happily, except for one person, which was her father. You see, the thing is over all the years, based off what he had did, his grief, that pain, it started to get the best of his mind. Suddenly, anything that had water or salt in it, he could not consume without becoming gravely ill. Well, the thing is water and salt is in everything. We need water and salt literally to survive. And his daughter saying, "I love you as much as water and salt," was saying, "I love you as much as everything." But the father, not thinking, was thinking shallowly, was thinking that water and salt isn't enough. He recognized just how important it was. The daughter recognized that her father was unable to eat, and she said, "Father, grieve no more, for it is I. Okay, I am your daughter, the one you cast out, the one you asked to be executed." And the father grieved and he wept and he praised and he thanked her and he apologized for his cruel actions. And he became a better father after that. But there was a lesson here. The lesson here was to not act so impulsively. The lesson here was to stick to your truth. The lesson here was to even have forgiveness in the harshest of times. Now, the thing with this story, much like a lot of us, when we tell our truth, when we speak how we feel, people don't always like what we have to say. And a lot of times we're punished for speaking our truth, for speaking these words of wisdom out, for speaking our honesty. or for standing up for ourselves, or for saying when something has been a disservice. And a lot of times we have to worry about the repercussions or what people may say or how people may act. It may not be as grave and as drastic as this fairy tale, but nonetheless, we have to deal with something. When this card comes, it tells you to face your problems head on, to speak your truth no matter what it may cost you in that moment, because in the long run, you will reap the benefits and rewards, and all will see what your words truly meant and how honest you were actually being. See, this girl, she explained back to her father that when I said this, I wasn't saying it in malice. I was saying I love you and all the food that I eat and the water that I drink and every piece of life. I love you. But you were unable to see that because my love for you wasn't the way that you saw, or wasn't the way that you slapped a label on it. Right? So many times, so many of us don't fit the mold of what someone else's visions or ideals are, or how they think, or how they see us, and they get upset and they put us in a box, not recognizing that our unique gift may be the thing that saves the world, that changes a life, that may be helpful or beneficial. We're silenced, we're humbled, we're quieted, right? But the thing is, do not allow anyone to placate your feelings. Okay. Allow yourself to speak your divine sense of truth and honesty, no matter what it may cost in the long run. Say it like it is and mean things when you say them. You may be pushed in this time to say some things you're not ready to say, but you should go ahead and speak your truth anyways. Don't worry about what the repercussions are. No matter what, when we speak, people are going to listen. And they may not like it, but it may be what they need to hear. So I hope that you enjoyed this fairy tale, and I hope you enjoy many more to come. I love doing these each and every week, and boy, do we have more to come. But I want you guys to stay tuned for all of our great podcasts and shows that are upcoming, and make sure you guys are hitting that notification button on YouTube. I'll see you all soon.